Hey, we did it. I'm back. I'm here, back home after my trip to see my family. It's been lovely. But I'm here and I'm ready to talk to you guys because Vocal Magic doors just closed, unless you're already in conversation with me. That's it. And of course, you can always DM me anytime, of course. But yeah, I'm really excited. I've got a really good group heading into Vocal Magic this week. Next week, actually, we start. But I do have one or two spots left. So if you're curious, DM me. I'm here. If you have questions, this is probably the only time this year that this will be opening. So that's happening. I'm really excited about it. I've got such good people in there. Super stoked. Sorry I'm a little late. The day gets away from you sometimes. Hello, friends. Thank you for being here. Hi, Emily, CM, Steph. Welcome. Let me know what questions you have about your singing this week, because it always helps to get in touch with what you guys are wondering versus what I just decide to talk about. But overall, this week has been so much for me, about talking to people about how to get out of their own way and get into just doing the thing. Just doing the thing. That's a good question. Modulation. What is modulation? So from my perspective, modulation is usually talking about a key change in a song. And that definitely takes practice, ear training practice, because you're singing in a key and you get into the familiar levels of where your notes are. And then all of a sudden, big energy shift, and that whole thing moves up or down. And you have to kind of translate in your brain for just a couple seconds. Usually that's all it takes to get into a new key. But it takes a lot of getting out of the gremlin voice of like, oh God, you're doing it wrong, you're singing the wrong notes, and so much trust that yes, you can sing the same melody, just a half step down or a whole step up or something. It just takes practice. I don't know if that's what you're talking about, if you're talking about modulation in any different way. But yeah, it just ear training is the bomb. I highly recommend just listening to a bunch of songs with key changes in them and slow them down, listen to that transition, and then see if you can just hit the first note. And that's it. And then maybe try the second note, little bits and little bits. Oh, interesting. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, send me an example. I'm curious more what you mean. My computer's telling me something weird. Okay. So other than that, I was just going to come on here and talk about doing the thing, you guys, because so often we as singers, as artists, hesitate for many, many months. Many months of hesitating, of thinking we're not ready, of saying, oh, I got to learn how to do this thing first before I do the thing I want to do. However, the confidence that you're waiting for and the groundedness that you're waiting for to act from is never going to happen. And from a neurological perspective, it is like, if you think about yourself from your brain's perspective, it makes a lot of sense, because your brain only knows what it has experienced before. And especially as artists, we put ourselves in situations that are new and exciting, aka scary for your brain, because it doesn't know how it's going to go. So there is a lack of safety there for your brain, because it doesn't have the evidence from before. Your brain is so much more a prediction mechanism than it is a thinking mechanism. Your thinking is so much based on what your brain has experienced in the past, instead of what you are creating. And this is, remind me to talk about imagination in a minute. But in situations where if you stepped on stage and all of a sudden you got a bunch of stage fright, your voice closed up, you got really nervous, really sweaty, really stiff, and you just couldn't do what you wanted to do, think back on all the other evidence that your brain has of you being on a stage. Maybe you don't have any evidence since you were like 5 and you were like doing a kindergarten talent show or something. And maybe that went well, but maybe you have memories of, being on stage in a stupid duck costume, which is my experience. And that is what your body is calling up as a memory for that. And so it goes, oh, this is a ridiculous, humiliating situation, right? It kind of connects the dots between the actual experience and what your adult self would judge it for now, because the gremlin, as you know, its job is to keep you safe. And if it perceives anything that you're about to do as too risk-taking, if it is perceiving it as something that other people will not accept you for, if it's too ridiculous, too out of the box, too out of the comfort zone, aka wearing a duck costume, your brain will be like, no, this is not a safe situation. I cannot guarantee your safety in this situation, so you should probably not do it. And so then it shuts down all of the energy that it would be putting out to you performing on stage, and it closes all that up, right? It's conserving energy for you to keep yourself safe, for you to run away, or for you to fight the perceived danger. And so this is why you get really sweaty. You can't breathe as deeply. You tighten up, and like your voice is a luxury when your brain is in danger. And so that's why it closes up. Like it's funneling all of your energy to safety. And breathing deeply, your voice is not a part of it, right? Singing is something we do when we are relaxed, when we are with people we love, when we are sitting around a campfire and being fed. And that is also a reason why singing can help calm the vagal nerve, because just that act of opening your mouth and making sound in a calm way instead of freak out yelling mode is something that is going to work the other way and can trigger experience to your brain of, oh, this is a safe place, right? This is a place of calm, and I can hang out here. I can relax here. Because that's where its experience of singing is also. And also there's biological reasons that singing calms your vagal nerve frequency vibration wise. We're not getting into that today. So this is really important for you to know, because so many of us judge ourselves hardcore, because if we step on stage and we feel that nervousness, if we feel our throat close up, if we can't hit the notes that we're trying to hit, our gremlin brain goes first and foremost really quickly into, this is your fault. Anybody else? Raise your hand. Is that what your gremlin says? This is your fault. You're doing it wrong. You suck. It's not good. Whatever's happening is bad, and you did it, and you're a problem. This is what the gremlin does. It's really good at it. Again, we're talking about evidence. Your brain is really good at doing things it has done before. It's really good at this because it's really had a lot of experience in it. And so what we can start to do is notice when that negative self-talk comes in and start to separate yourself from it, right? It feels so real, right? If you have ever been in a scary situation, if you ever like said the wrong thing in a conversation, for God's sake, like your gremlin takes that as fuel, eats it up, comes in and is like, hey, guess what? That thing you just did, it's bad. You should never do that again because we felt gross. And so it's just trying to keep you from going outside your comfort zone and keep you safe. However, we're so not used to separating from that voice, right? We're so used to taking that as truth. And so we hear that voice in our head that's like, nope, that was a bad idea. And we feel like, oh, I had that thought. It must be real. I gotta take this guy's advice, right? So we run, or we fight, or we freeze. And this is the gremlin doing its job, and it's keeping you safe. Great. In terms of, this is also what it does if you have ever like stood at a train station and was like, what would happen if I took a step down here, right? And the gremlin's like, no, you should probably not do that. That's not safe. This is why we love the gremlin, right? The gremlin is not all evil. It is also trying to keep you from doing stupid stuff outside of the realm of actual safety. However, in singing, the gremlin has turned singing into an equal threat to a predator, right? For a lot of us, not for all of us. But in that case, we have to remind ourselves that, okay, this is just my biology, trying to keep me in my comfort zone, trying to keep me in my little box. Thank you for keeping me safe. I love you, appreciate it, but F off, okay? Because this is singing, this is not standing in front of a moving train. Yeah? So it takes some practice. It takes a lot of practice, actually. However, sometimes just doing a thing can be the thing that gives you more evidence, and you're never going to feel safe doing that thing because the thing is outside your comfort zone. Your brain cannot compute that that thing is safe because it has no experience with it. Does that all make sense? Give me an emoji if that's making sense. So, for example, you don't want to go do a show in front of 1,000 people, right? This is something that is way outside your comfort zone. So of course your gremlin's going to come in and try and keep you safe because it has no idea that you will be safe performing in front of 1,000 people. However, if you can get a hold of your gremlin, be like, okay, we're separating for these 5 minutes and just go sing in front of one person, maybe two, if that's where your edge is. That is the thing that will get you more evidence that singing in front of a person or two is safer, because you will do it, and you will do it scared. You will be terrified, but we're not looking for zero nerves, right? We're looking for, I'm going to do a thing, and then after, I'm going to feel way better about it. Because you know that, right? You know that in other contexts in your life. Before you started to ride a bike, before you started to learn to drive, you were terrified of sitting in that driver's seat, being in control of a moving vehicle. You did it scared. You did it with support. That's the key, right? You had somebody in the passenger seat next to you supporting you. And so this is why we don't send 16-year-olds off to drive cars alone, just having read a driver's ed book. You've got to have somebody in the passenger seat supporting you through the training process. And so I'm never going to ask you to go sign up for an open mic if you've never even sung in front of one person before, because that doesn't make sense to your brain. Your brain's going to freak out. And you're going to come back from that experience as, I'm a failure, I suck, I can't do the thing you asked me to do, because it was way too fast, too soon. So the thing that I need you to know is, it's really important for you to know your biology and to know your nervous system and know your mind and know what it is doing in these situations, and to stop judging yourself, to unshame that biological function, because we all have it, right? And it's good that we all have it. Otherwise, we'd be stepping in front of moving trains all the time. So we thank it. We say, hello, George, my gremlin, I love you. Thank you for keeping me safe. And in this moment, I am safe, so you can F off. And sometimes he will leave. Sometimes he will not. Sometimes you got to get a little violent with him. Sometimes you got to pick him up off your shoulder and drop kick him into the other universe. However, nothing is going to help you do that more than just doing the effing thing. Right? Because you can sit and argue with your gremlin for many, many hours, but your gremlin can't actually stop you from doing a thing, right? And he's going to be less able to stop you if you have the momentum and you say, you know, I'm doing it anyway. I'm doing it scared. I'm taking this one little step outside my comfort zone. I'm going to go sing for my best friend. That's all you need to do today, right? If this is your goal, working up to singing in front of other people, larger crowds, go sing in front of one person today. If you do that every day, go sing in front of 2 people. Go sing in front of 3 people. Call a bunch of friends to go have coffee and be like, hey, let's meet in the park. I'm going to sing you a song because this is part of my work today, and thank you for your support. Support is key. Co-regulation is going to help your body feel 5-10% safer in that moment that you're trying to do the thing. Whereas if you were alone, you'd be like, why am I doing this? There's no way I can handle getting through the fear of this. But if you have a co-regulator, especially somebody who you usually feel safe around, who you can look in their dang eyes and who are giving you like support and love and cheerleading all over the place, you are going to be more likely to do the thing because you have help. You are not alone in carrying this weight. So that's what I need you to know. If you're waiting for confidence, it's never going to come before you do the thing. It's going to come after you do the thing. And if you do the thing with momentum and knowledge of your nervous system and support, you're going to kill it every time. And you're going to keep expanding your comfort zone by a little fingernail every time you sing in front of one person. And then you're going to expand your comfort zone by another little fingernail. And then you sing in front of 2 people. And then you're going to expand your comfort zone a little more, and you're going to be singing in front of 5 to 10 people. And if that feels scary right now, that's okay, because you're not at the level 3 yet. You're just at level 1. Take the step to go to level 2. Don't think about level 18. That is, I think, a lot of people's main issue, is they're judging yourself based on the person you want to be at level 18. But you don't see what your next little step is. And you're like, okay, how am I ever going to get to level 18? But that's way too much for your brain to comprehend right now, because it hasn't experienced level 17 or 16 or any of the levels in between. It has only experienced level 1. And so if you come at it from a place of, okay, I'm going to say that I am safe, and I'm going to remind myself that I am safe and happy in this moment, and I'm doing the thing I want to do, and I'm not expecting myself to have 0 nerves. I'm not expecting myself to have 0 fear. I'm going to sing with a little tightness, with a little shakiness, with a little sweatiness. I'm going to do it anyway because this is what I love to do. And I knew that was going to happen because Sarah told me it was going to happen, and it's okay. And I'm going to grab a co-regulator. I'm going to grab my dog or my cat or my best friend, and I'm going to say, hey, I'm doing this thing. Please help me do this thing and get to level 2, because I have tried many times before, and my brain is spicy, and it's not going to let me do it. So it's really helpful to have that support. So if you remember nothing else that I tell you today, go find a co-regulator for singing. Go find another person in your life who sings, because they're going to be the safest co-regulator, because they're going to understand all this stuff that's going on in your head. They're going to be like, oh yeah, girl, I've been there, right? I have had that gremlin voice in my head, and here's what I did. You can talk about the experience, what's going on in your head before you sing in front of people. So moral of the story, go do the thing, but not the level 18 thing, the level 2 thing. Give yourself some grace, give yourself some ease, and say yes through the fear, because that's the thing that's going to help you grow. So if you're scared of asking for help, ask any other artist ever. It doesn't have to be even a singer. Ask any creative person who ever did their own thing. Yeah, it takes help. Nobody ever did any of this on their own. Every artist that you look up to now had a team of people, best friends, family, supporting them through this, all of the hard moments that their gremlin got the better of them. And they said, you can do this. It's going to be scary, but you can do it anyway. And then they did it. And then they took level 3 and level 4, and then now they're at level 28. However, you're not worried about that right now, because you are at level 1. Every rose has its thorns. I like that. That's nice. So yeah, if you have any questions about any of this, please let me know. But take your time. I was going to talk about imagination real quick. Your brain does not know the difference between things that you are imagining in your head and real things that are happening. So if you are imagining everybody in the audience booing you and throwing tomatoes at you, that is a threat that your brain is going to perceive, right? But if you are imagining everybody loving you, everybody applauding after your performance, everybody saying, thank you, that song meant so much to me, thank you so much for singing it, that is what your brain is going to perceive as happening. So visualization can mean a lot in this moment. Also, reminding yourself that how you talk to yourself is affecting your nervous system state. So if you talk to yourself in a place of, I got to do better, I suck, why am I not better than this already? That is a threat to your nervous system as well. It's not just environmental stuff. You are controlling your nervous system's input as well, because you have this thinking thing up here that is saying lots of things all the time. And if your grandma's in the driver's seat and you're allowing it to say, you suck, don't do that anymore, you did wrong, your nervous system's going to take that and be like, oh, that's a problem. And that's going to be the evidence that appears in your head more often, right? However, if you on purpose separate yourself from that gremlin, name your gremlin, say, okay, George, F off. If you on purpose say, okay, I'm scared, but I'm going to do it. I got this. I can do it. What if one person likes the way I sing? What a thought, right? What a crazy, crazy thought. Have you ever felt that before? What if one person needs to hear this song today? And then use that as your fuel, because then that is not gremlin fuel. That is you fuel. So use you fuel instead of gremlin fuel to get you over this line. And that's all I got to say. If you're curious about vocal magic, doors are closing. The link is gone, but you can always DM me. Tell me what you're dealing with. I have a couple more spots left. Is it for you? I don't know. Let's talk. I love you so much. Thank you for being here. I got to head out, but you can rewatch this later. Give me some emojis. Tell me you watched it. Let me know what else you want to hear about in the comments, in the DMs. I'm here for you. And I will let you know what's coming next in the next couple weeks. I always have something going on, and so I'm here for you. And I love you, and have a lovely day.